public has requested, that they have requested the York County Library to all gender books, gender identity books, such as these, which are here, along with a whole list of other books they've listed out on gender, what they consider gender identity books, to be moved to the adult section of the York County Library. That way, if a parent wants their children to read these books, then the parents will have the decision to do that, and that would end up being the parent's choice.
I'm for the First Amendment, but and protecting speech, but I'm also for protecting our children from inappropriate materials. There's got to be a place for public decency in protecting our children in the libraries. We're not asking for book burning, but just putting inappropriate books in the adult section. If parents want that kind of material for the children, they can check the book out for their children and bring it home. We need to be able to let children browse the children's section without having inappropriate materials put in their path, contrary to what parents want for their children.
This issue, if it comes up and these books do not get moved to a more adult area, it'll affect our children both physically and mentally for years to come. We already have enough information out there for our children to digest. Why would you want to add something like this to it?
So after I listened to some disturbing comments about objectionable books in the children's section a few weeks ago, I did what any reasonable person would do, and I went to go check it out for myself. I went to the Fort Mill branch of the county library, and there I found a book that was discussed in detail at the previous council meeting called Pink, Blue, and You on the shelf. And I really want to tell you guys, this book helped me guide my children on a really meaningful two-way conversation about gender identity, about how to respectfully engage with and befriend members of the transgender community. And I'm so grateful for the easy access of the book and the opportunity to launch what I know will be an ongoing topic of conversation in my home. Segregating books about gender identity will create an unnecessary and inequitable barrier to access for citizens in this county. Current objections to inclusive books have failed to provide any evidence that these books on gender identity are explicit or harmful to anyone, and therefore a request to segregate them should be recognized merely as an attempt to divide instead of unite.
I think we're more and more in an age where folks can't hear each other, right? It's fundamentally American to disagree. We can't listen to folks that we disagree with. So what I heard tonight, under the guise of sexually inappropriate, sexually explicit, whatever words were used, were actually two distinct arguments. I think there were folks saying that they think any depiction of gay or trans characters is sexually explicit. There is nothing more sexual about a book featuring a gay or trans child than there is about a book featuring a straight or a cisgender kid. I think that language is harmful, and I would encourage folks to speak to gay or trans kids and their families to understand even the harm that rhetoric causes.
The government cannot limit access to library materials solely on the basis of the content of those materials unless the government can demonstrate that the restriction is necessary to achieve a compelling government interest, and there are no less restrictive alternatives for achieving that interest. I will tell you right now, wanting to protect children from queer characters is not a compelling government interest.